Hi, I'm Adam DeSanctis. Welcome to MBA Asks the Expert, a series where we discuss a timely and important issue with a mortgage industry leader. I'm here again with Craig Rebmann, Product Evangelist at Dark Matter, for part 3 of our ongoing series. In parts 1 and 2, we discuss current servicing trends in a capture-recapture strategy and the important role loan origination system providers play in a lender's AI strategy. Today, we're discussing the shifting nature of lenders' work from doing to reviewing. Craig, it's great to talk to you again.
Great to talk to you too, Adam, as always.
Dark Matter has positioned itself to support lenders as they adopt AI and shift to a more agentic process. What does that mean within the context of the loan origination systems?
Yeah, really, it means the roles are going to shift quite a bit. Today, people are spending a lot of time preparing loans for assessment, and there may be deterministic rules that then apply that assessment. Instead, going forward, what they're really going to be doing is they're going to be looking at a fully prepared loan that's already been through that assessment. So it's much more of a review than doing. They're not really getting that loan ready. When we think about it from an initial underwrite perspective, as an example, that entire process can be automated. So it really becomes more about identifying what is it that you want humans to take a look at when the automation is done, or are there certain scenarios where it just makes a lot more sense to have a human engaged entirely up front, and maybe that's not the best path to leverage artificial intelligence, or the best scenario to leverage artificial intelligence. Empower is really trying to position itself to provide every user with an agent assistant so that there's more opportunity to leverage artificial intelligence to do some of that work to get things ready for review. And really allowing all roles to move to more of a reviewer type of a process.
That's a fascinating breakdown in the future of work there. Where is Dark Matter right now on this journey?
Yeah, well, we've been involved in artificial intelligence for quite some time, actually. Granted, much of it predictive under our AVA document data process, but we've added the ability to do income and asset reviews to that capability, and then loan quality assessments as well. There are deterministic components to that today where we run calculations or do the quality comparisons using the deterministic rules engine. And we're going to continue to do that, but we're also evaluating where it makes more sense to start to use more probabilistic AI to support some of that. And of course, for other use cases, an example of that is Ask Ava, which is a voice and text driven agent that we implemented in Empower just tail end of last year. And that really allows Empower users to ask questions about how to better use Empower. And it's extending to be able to interact with pipeline information. And lenders can upload their own information into the knowledge bases too. Things like guidelines and policy information, things like that.
That's very interesting. So let me ask you, how much of this is lender-led versus Dark Matter-led?
Yeah, well, a lot of it has been Dark Matter-led. However, it's through a lot of feedback from our lenders. But our objective is really to meet lenders where they need us in their AI journey. And so we really want to be an advisor to them, help them to roll out artificial intelligence effectively. And lenders are absolutely going to bring their own innovations to the table. We know that. They've been experimenting and doing things on their own already. But they also may have a favorite third party that they want to interact with the platform. And we're eager to support that. That's why we implemented Model Context Protocol and why our developer platform has expanded so much over the course of the last year. But we also feel it's important that we're providing our own capabilities to help them become more efficient, and particularly for some of those lenders who maybe are not comfortable taking on doing some of that themselves.
Yeah, that makes sense. And efficiency is a common goal, of course, in AI implementation. But if teams are moving from more doing to reviewing, won't that lead to fewer people being needed?
Well, it certainly means that you can do more with fewer people, but it also means that people's work changes and they're dealing with fewer of the simple scenarios and fewer of the repetitive tasks. They're really going to be focused a lot more on edge cases and some of the more complicated scenarios. But it also opens up entirely new roles for people. That can be things like supporting the agents, doing evaluations, and even process design, which is a great area to geek out over.
Yeah, and being here at MBA, I know Mismo is doing a lot on this effort. How do you safeguard lenders as they adopt more AI?
Yeah, that's actually a great point. Mismo has been putting together an AI framework template that is really powerful around all of that. And we have an AI framework ourselves as well. It really kind of comes down to governance, consistent evaluations, and being really clear about the AI ethics, but also operationalizing that in procedures, making that part of the process to ensure that the whole organization is on the same page. Finally, that framework really puts those rules into practice, and it helps to formalize how the evaluations are going to be done, when you're going to use artificial intelligence, when you're not going to use artificial intelligence, all of those sorts of things. It's really very important. Data segregation is really key as well. For example, in our case, we want to make sure that none of our client personally identifiable information gets used to train models. And we also really take explainability very seriously. We want to know what AI is doing. We want to know that it can be measured and that we can measure the quality of what artificial intelligence did. And then we also need to be able to review the results of that to make sure that really the output is what's expected and what we would look to get.
You make some really good points there. And finally, Craig, last question. What gets in the way right now of AI adoption? Is it cost or lack of trust?
Actually, it's change management. That's really kind of the biggest thing we've been seeing. Cost has come down quite a lot, particularly inference cost. And it seems that lenders are getting much more comfortable trusting artificial intelligence in more scenarios. We certainly see that there are kind of two camps in that. There's the group of lenders who are moving very quickly and a group of lenders who are being much more cautious about it. But it seems to be generalizable that trust in artificial intelligence is increasing. But the change management side of things, I think, is what often gets underplayed. We're really talking about entirely reinventing the process. And anytime you introduce a process change to an operations team, it's not easy. People need to have visibility into what the artificial is doing so that they can trust it, so that they don't keep going back and rechecking what's done, because that just defeats the whole purpose. But it's also about getting that loan originated in a new, more efficient way. And that's absolutely a change management challenge first and foremost. And a lot of lenders in particular are struggling a little bit with getting their arms around how they're going to retrain so many people or get so much change implemented into their operations.
At the end of the day, you and I both know AI is here to stay. This has been a very informative and timely conversation. As always, thank you for joining us on MBA Asks the Expert.
Hey, thank you very much, Adam. Really appreciate the opportunity.